Hello there, and welcome to Arcadia. Chris Marcus here with you as always. We're on the ground tonight in Neoplasia, Greece, which is our current Arcadia headquarters. And just wanted to give you a quick explanation of what happened this week in the markets. One of the big stories you may have caught was that the European Central Bank decided to go with the highly unconventional move of bringing interest rates into negative territory. I'm actually not sure if anyone has publicly tried this in history for good reason, because essentially you can think of a negative interest rate. You're offering someone, they put $100 in the bank, and in the best case scenario, they get 97 or 98 back a year from now. Not really a good deal. Of course, when you factor in the chance that you don't get your money back, or that you're getting your money back in highly inflated currency, which is exactly what's going to happen, that makes the deal even worse for everybody. And it's almost so bizarre. You wouldn't think that anyone was actually trying this, but again, this is what central banks do. My personal opinion is that they're very clear on what they're doing, that this isn't even an attempt to really help fix the economy, but just it's another attempt to print money because they know that they've been caught. They've been printing money for decades, just like the Americans have been. And if you stop printing now, then you're going to have another recession/depression like you did in 2008, which unfortunately at this point, from a monetary standpoint, is unavoidable. And the best thing that could happen would be to allow the market to heal, allow this printed money to go away and return some semblance of normalcy. But instead, they decided to go with negative interest rates. And just to put that in perspective, the way that you lower interest rates is by printing money. When you make more credit available, that naturally drives the interest rate down because people feel less of a need to pay the higher rate that they did before. And when you hear these announcements, whether it's quantitative easing, LTROs, negative interest rates, or whatever other schemes these guys are coming up with, they're printing money. And one thing that's fascinating that we've noted a couple times before here in Arcadia is that I came to Europe first in the Netherlands just about a year ago, which was end of May in 2013. And just about every time I've gone to the ATM, the bills have been brand new. Which again leaves us with two possibilities that I can think of, which is either A, that maybe there's some guy in the basement sitting there burning all the old ones when they're printing out the new batch. I suppose that's possible. But it really points out the more likely option, which is again that they've been printing a lot of money that they've not even been acknowledging. And to think that that's been going on, and now they're saying still that's not enough, that we're going to go to negative interest rates, which just means that they're going to be printing at an even faster rate. Wow, you really wonder what's been going on behind the scenes and how close this whole thing might be to getting out of control. But fortunately, as always, the best that we can do is think about how can we respond. There might not be anything we can directly do to change the central bank action. And again, I always advocate peaceful means in any situation. But really what you can do is think about how you can respond on a personal level. If you have savings or you have treasury bonds, these are assets that are going to be hurt by the inflation of the currency. This is why you continue to see a lot of people talking about gold. Now, we haven't seen the price escalate significantly yet, which touches on another scheme that some of the banks are running, which is they're suppressing the gold price. But that, I believe, is about to come to an end probably in the near future, at least at worst case in the medium to long term, because you can only sell the same gold bar to so many people until the Chinese come in and ask for it, which is what's happening now. And there's a great site by Koos Janssen out of the Netherlands called In Gold We Trust that really tracks that situation on a closer level. But the main takeaway is hopefully you can see that all of these things are being held together. And from my perspective, what I've seen in my experience in the American markets and now here in Europe, if there is much hope that the central bankers were going to do the right thing, I think they would have done it by now. So really the best response, again, is to think of what are the things that I spend money on? Is it housing? Is it food? Is it energy? If there were no paper currencies, sometimes I like to imagine if there was no paper currencies and society was just functioning by trade, how would it work? Do I know someone who knows how to farm? Or do I know someone who knows about free energy or has studied Nikola Tesla? And just whatever their situation may be, maybe it can be as simple, if you have a lot of money saved, you can cash it in for gold or silver or agriculture or investments that will perform well in an inflationary period. Again, that's something that's going to be different for each person. A lot of people are graduating college, $200,000 in debt, which again comes from the printed money that the banks are sending out. Maybe they can't buy gold and silver. But what we learn and being able to market the skills that we have, that's another replacement. So maybe you understand what's going on and you can help someone that perhaps has capital but doesn't know what you know. And especially with the internet, really, you can see this is the business model I've adopted of just trying to figure out how we can take the skills that we have and share them with someone else. And again, that may be different for each person, but really, once you realize what's happening, once you see that the money printing is most certainly going on, if there's a way that it's going to stop at any point, I have yet to see how really a plausible scenario of how that would play out. So, but again, when you start and accept that, I don't think these guys can be trusted. We grew up believing trust in government, trust in the president, prime minister, wherever you may be from. But I think what we're realizing now is that you call a spade. And the best thing we can do is, once you recognize the problem, that's actually the toughest step. And then you begin thinking about what can you do to respond. And post your comments below, and hopefully we can get some good discussions going. The best thing that we have is communicating with each other and exchanging ideas. And the more we do that, the better off we'll all be. And soon, maybe we'll have just gold and silver or Bitcoin or whatever it may be, but some sort of legitimate currency where we can get back to living our lives, taking care of our families, and enjoying being alive. So with that said, thanks for tuning in today. Hit that subscribe button. We'll keep you posted. So no matter what comes up, you're going to be in great shape and miles ahead of the crowd. And I thank you again, and God bless you all.